On many occasions, I have heard persons on television and on radio calling for their regional cricket board to be separated from Cricket West Indies and to go it alone. I have seen many headlines and many typers on the internet and in newspaper calling for the same thing. I don't usually read these articles when I see them because of what I heard on the television and on the radio. These persons usually making these calls have not provided a clear pathway of how separating from Cricket West Indies will work for their regional board. Most of them, their articles and their interviews lack substance. May I say not most, but all of them. They are ill-informed, they are ill-advised, and they clearly do not know how the financing and the structure of international cricket work. Simply put, and I make no apology, they do not have a clue of the intricacies involved in international cricket. Today, I will try briefly to explain the two most important aspects, the structure and financing. While I will not go into great details, I will try and provide a summary of how it works. Hello everyone and welcome to the Cricket Forum. Thank you for tuning in. Please slash a like on the video and click on the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. Please also support Soulmate Cricket Shows and Best Buy USA. As I said, I will look at the structure and the financing. First, there are 109 registered members of the International Cricket Council the last time I checked. These 109 members are divided into two large groups. One, the full members, which comprises the 13 members on your screen. The other group makes up of the 96 associate members, which are further divided into other groups or other stages. As you see, there are the 13 members. They are referred to as the Super League. Afghanistan, Australia, Bangladesh, England, India, the West Indies is also in it. I list them in alphabetical order. The group immediately under that group, classified as League 2, comprises 7 nations, that is Namibia, Nepal, Oman, Papua New Guinea, and the United States, among others, are in this group. It is not a qualification process where you qualify from Group 2 to the Super League group, and then depending on your performance, you fall back into Group 2. It is not a qualification process like that. Once you stepped up to be a full member country, you are a full member country. And that's how the rule is as of now. Maybe in the future it will change. But presently, full member countries are not eliminated to associate members. And associate members, once they stepped up to the level above them, they are in that level and are not eliminated to the level below them. So we have the Super League group, which comprises the test playing nations, the League 2, which are the next level below the test playing nation, and below that group, comprising 12 teams, are what we call the Challenge League A and League B, or what the ICC refers to as the Challenge League A and B, which comprises Bermuda, Canada, Denmark, and you see there, Italy, Jersey. I've never heard of the country named Jersey before I started this research. So those are the groups, that the 3 top groups. Below them are the other nations. Now, in the Super League group, which are the full member nations, which are the test play nation, they get each year the largest chunk of money from the ICC. I have repeatedly told you that Cricket West Indies receives somewhere about $14.5 million each year from the ICC. Even in this group, the money is not distributed equally. Because India, while West Indies only get 14.5 million each year, a nation like India gets 46 million or thereabout each year. England, on the other hand, get about $16 million each year. So even in this group, the money is not distributed equally. Now, while West Indies will get $14.5 million each year from the ICC, the 96 associate members, get this right, the 96 associate members gets a total of $22.5 million to share up among the 96 of them. And as you see, as I explained to you in League A, in the Super League, where India get the most of the money, this 22.5 million is not divided equally among all the nations in the associate status. It is not divided equally. Naturally, these nations at the top of the associate nation level will get more than those at the bottom. My understanding, and I cannot confirm this, each regional board in the West Indies, the 6th regional board in the West Indies, gets each month for Cricket West Indies a minimum of 100,000 US dollars. That's each of the regional board gets a minimum of 100,000 US dollars each month. The 96 associate members, if the $22.5 million was to be divided equally among those 96 nations, each one of them would get $19,500 each month if it was to be divided equally. But as I said, it will not be divided equally. The team at the bottom will get far less, probably $2,000 to $3,000 per month, than the team at the top, like the USA, Namibia, and so on. They will probably get $30,000 to $40,000 a month. It will not be divided equally. If one of the countries in the West Indies is to break away, and let's use Jamaica, my country, because I do not want anyone to think that I'm prejudiced against their country. So let me use Jamaica, and this is an example. I am not calling for Jamaica to break away, because I don't think breaking away from Cricket West Indies would be in the best interest of Jamaica. I think what we need to do is to grow West Indies cricket and make it stronger. We all need to participate in the structure of West Indies cricket and ensure that it grows stronger. Now, if Jamaica was to break away from Cricket West Indies, remember, Cricket West Indies is a full member nation of the ICC. Cricket West Indies is getting almost $14.5 million each year from the ICC. Jamaica is getting a $100,000 each month from Cricket West Indies. 100,000 US dollars. If Jamaica should break away from the ICC and become an associate member by itself, more than likely the amount of money that Jamaica will get, because they would now be at the bottom of the table, more than likely Jamaica will not be receiving 5,000 US dollars a month. That would be a minimum reduction of $95,000. That is why, despite the call of individuals in our countries that there should be breakaway, those who are in charge of the regional boards know these data that I'm giving to you. It would be a minimum of a $95,000 reduction in their monthly allowance. Now, the other thing that we must consider, once you become an associate member, the opportunities for your players in your country playing T20 franchise cricket leagues all over the world will greatly diminish. It will be greatly diminished. For example, in the IPL, which is the most lucrative, by far the most lucrative cricket competition in the world, and where numerous players from each of the countries take part. If Jamaica should become an associate member by breaking away from Cricket West Indies, each franchise in the IPL can only pick one associate members, one. And it is very unlikely that the franchises will all choose Jamaica to pick their associate members from. That's what one of the great disadvantages of going it alone. When you cease to become a full member of the International Cricket Council, franchise cricket opportunities for your countrymen around the world will greatly diminish. Now I look at cricket and look at other sport in the region. I look at football, which is probably the most popular sport in the region. And if you think that you can go it alone in cricket and reach the top, I ask you this question. Why is football in your country not at the top? How much does the Football Federation in your country pays its top players each month? While the regional boards are able to pay their players close to $2,000 each month plus match fee, that's the retained players anywhere between 15 to 17, they are able to pay them each month. No other sport in your country that is going it alone, whether netball, football, track and field, badminton, basketball, swimming, whatsoever that sport is in your country, they are paying no players. No player in your country is getting paid from their association except cricket. If you should choose to go it alone, the amount of money that you will be getting from the ICC, currently, your regional cricket board is paying one player more than that amount. Where will the money come from to sustain your cricket? And if you have the money to sustain the cricket in your country, why is the other sport in your country is not being sustained? The other thing that we need to look at, and we need to look at very carefully, the USA is the third largest cricket market in the world, bar India and England. More and more franchises are going to start taking their associate players from the USA. While teams like the IPL and the BCCI may come up with a system to allow the current players from your country who are playing in the IPL, the future players will not have that privilege. And I'm not saying that that will happen. So before you decided that your country should break away from Cricket West Indies, you must decide how it is going to be funded. You must decide where you're going to get the money to replace the minimum $100,000 per month that Cricket West Indies is giving to your regional board. You must decide what opportunities will be available to your players when your country become an associate member. And you must ask yourself, what is the difference between cricket and the other sports in your country that are struggling to reach the top of the international standard? Thank you all for tuning in. Please, as I said, slash a like on the video, click on that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. Take care of yourself, take care of your loved one, and have a great day. This was a recording and it was not a live show. Be good.